for introduction. Firstly, safety of navigation are set mainly in SOLAS Chapter 5. In December 2000, the International Maritime Organization (IMO) adopted a revised version of Chapter 5, adapting it and incorporating new requirements that entered into force in 2002. Since then, several future amendments have been made and introduced. Do you know? At sea, there are also safety guidelines such as scenes on land. If at sea, there is also equipment used as one of the navigation marks to determine a safer voyage. Lastly, the organization's Maritime Safety MSC is mandated to oversee the international regulatory framework on maritime safety and its subsidiary bodies, in particular the Subcommittee on Navigation, Communication and Search and Rescue (NCSR), assists with all technical matters on maritime safety, among others analysis and approval of ship vessels, measure and ship reporting system.
Next, I want to present about summary. Chapter V deal about safety of navigation, which should be handled by contracting government and set out vistas of an functional nature which apply generally to all vessels on all passengers. Measures dealing with safety of navigation are specified substantially in SOLAS Chapter 5. The navigation rule for vessels establish action for loading to take to avoid a conspiracy. The navigation rules are published by the US government printing office and are available in any loading for store. Next, the Transnational Maritime Organization (IMO) has recommended the implementation of the automatic identification system (AIS) to improve navigation safety in marine business area. For example, based on regulation, IMO requires AIS to be fit above all ships 300 gross tonnage and upwards engaged on international voyages. Cargo ship of 500 gross tonnage and all passenger ship irrespective of size. Next, about knowing many simple rules will help your cargo stay safe at sea. The term vessel include anything that floats on water that is used or can be used as a means of transportation on water. In front of almost all the complexity on board is considered as a ship, and as such must know, understand and obey the navigation rule covering driving rules similar to road rule, closing and sound signal requests and navigation light spot. One of the main factors affecting safe maritime navigation is the sufficient experience and skill of apprentice officer, which can be improved using simulation-based training by increased functional effectiveness. Finally, the difference between distinct in this simulation are anatomy for both apprentice officer and educated officer, and guidelines corresponding to these two cases are presented. This study has limitations due to difference between simulated boat intuitive and actual boat navigation. This can be resolved based on the result of this study combined of virtual navigation data.
Next slide is study on safety of navigation for marine traffic area case study, Malacca Straits. The issue is 2 ships were badly damaged in a collision early morning while heading east along the busy Malacca Strait in between Malaysia and Singapore. The Zephyr, one Aframax tanker, rammed into the rear of the 7,455 TEU GSL Grania box ship, with both ships now set to require extensive repairs. Malaysia deployed local teams to the scene who report there was no oil spill and no injuries. it is understood the tanker lost power and smashed into the starboard side of the container ship. Next, result and discussion. Encounter situation on board ship. Based on Coleridge, the most important group of rules are the steering and sailing rules, which lay down the procedure to be followed when ships approach each other and there is a danger of collision. These situations are called close quarter situation. If two ships are approaching each other head-on, both must alter course to starboard or not the right, so that they pass each other port side to port side, where a vessel is on the starboard hand of another and steering a crossing course which may result in a collision. She has the right of way and should maintain her course and speed, the other vessel giving way to her. Where a vessel is on the port hand side of another and her course, if she maintains it, may result in a collision. She is the giving way vessel and must alter course to avoid the other. But any ship overtaking another, for example approaching at an angle from 2.22.5 degree above the beam on either side, must keep clear. When a vessel has the duty of giving way to another under the rule, she normally does so by altering course to pass astern of the other, and should make a clear and significant alteration of course in plenty of time to indicate to the other vessel that she is taking the appropriate action. Based on Coleridge Rule 10, 13, 14, and 15, traffic separation scheme overtaking, head-on, and crossing respectively, explore below. Rule 10, traffic separation scheme. First, both vessels initially at the same location according to Rule 10 and also follow the rule. Second, one of the vessels need to stay at the outer limit but the other one was very close to the traffic lane. Third, before the collision, one of the vessels had crossed the traffic lane and this breached the Rule 10.
Next, for the Rule 13, which is overtaking situation. Notwithstanding anything contained in the rules, any vessel overtaking any other shall keep out of the way of the vessel being overtaken. A vessel shall be deemed to be overtaking when coming up with another vessel from a direction more than 22.5 degrees above her beam, that is, in such a position with a reference to the vessel she is overtaking, that at night she would be able to see only the stern light of that vessel, but neither of her side lights. When a vessel is in any doubt as to whether she is overtaking another, she shall assume that this is the case and act accordingly. Any subsequent alteration in the bearing between the two vessels shall not make the overtaking vessels or crossing vessels within the meaning of these rules, or relieve her of the duty of keeping clear of the overtaken vessels until she is finally past and clear. Next, for the Rule 14, which is head-on situation. When two power-driven vessels are meeting on reciprocal or nearly reciprocal courses, so as to involve risk of collision, each shall alter her course to starboard, so that each shall pass on the port side of the other. Such a situation shall be deemed to exist when a vessel sees the other ahead or nearly ahead, and by night she would see the mast headlights of the other in a line or nearly in a line, and or both side light, and by day she observes the corresponding aspects of the other vessel. When a vessel is in any doubt as to whether such a situation exists, she shall assume that it does exist and act accordingly. Lastly, for the Rule 15, which is crossing situation. When two power-driven vessels are crossing so as to involve risk of collision, The vessel which has the other on her own starboard side shall keep out of the way and shall, if the circumstance of the case admit, avoid crossing ahead of the other vessel.
For the conclusion, overall, navigation of safety is an important factor in the shipping industry that should be prioritized by all parties involved in international trade, including governments, industry players, and ship crews. Thank you.